after. We have very special guests today that will be sharing their experiences with us.
Absolutely. So we have my longtime friends, well, really their family of 20 plus years, Jeff and Alicia Williams. We are so happy to have them here with us. Absolutely. We thought it would be very beneficial for you guys as our viewers and our supporters just to get a different perspective on relationship. Again, I mentioned they've been together for over 2 decades, so they have experience. So I'm not going to tell their story though. We want them to do that. So thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Introduce yourselves. Tell our supporters a little bit about you.
I'm Jeff Williams. This is my wife Alicia. We've been married for 23 years now.
Yes.
We have 4 sons, and we've been navigating through marriage that long, life. We've known each other since I was 15 when I met at church.
Wow.
And we became friends there, and we started dating about around 19. She was 18, and we just kind of did our thing, and here we are.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, it's been a road. I tell you. 23 years for marriage. Like you said, we've been friends. We were friends first, so but we were just kids, teenagers, and it's kind of like we grew up together.
Yes.
You know, because when you're friends, you know, there's no judgment. There's nothing. It's just you're just hanging out. You're just vibing. You're just chilling and everything. So you really get to know a person. And like I said, we grew together over the years, and 23 years is been some ups and some downs, but by the grace of God, we made it. You know, and it wasn't an option. Of course, a lot of times people say, you can't make it. We're gonna call it quits. We're gonna divorce. But for us, it was like, yeah, we may have said it, but it was like that's not an option. And it was like we're not doing that. So we've been through too much, and we know that we were destined to be together. And when you know that God puts something together, no matter what you do, or to try to prevent it or to remove it, it just doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't happen. So like I said, it's 23 years. We toughed it out, good and the bad, and now I think we're at a good place in our life. And it's just like we are best of friends.
Yeah.
And we've gone through a lot, hurt, a lot of pain, happiness, joy, but through it all, we're still here. So.
And I love it. I love it because y'all really can, as we get further along into the conversation, you really can talk about, like you said, her name is Alicia, but we've been sisters forever, so I call her Lee. So I'm talking about the same person if y'all hear me say that. But you talk about like it not always just being great, right? But you guys both were intentional about making sure it worked and making sure it stuck out. You stuck together. Right. So we definitely are going to jump into that because to your point, sometimes people do just give up too quickly and too easily. So we'll definitely talk about that. But thank y'all so much again for that intro and y'all being here. I'm just excited.
We're super excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, so supporters, you know what the next segment is, and that is our appreciation post. So, babe, do you want to go first this time?
I think I went first last time.
I think you didn't because I decided you went first the time before.
I think I went first last time because you actually said the same thing I said.
You know what? I don't think so. We gonna run the tape back, y'all. We gonna run it back. We have to get into our appreciation post. So I can't remember who started off last time.
Well, I'll go first.
I think you went first last time. Actually, now that you say that.
Okay.
So I can go first.
Well, we always do, with 2 positive affirmations of each other.
Okay.
So would you like to go first?
No, I want you to go first this time, babe. I think I went first last video.
I appreciate your sensitivity.
But I don't mind going first. Okay, so One of the things that I appreciate about you is your openness. You are open to any type of experience. You are open to any type of conversation. You're open to just new things. Like, there are so many people who are closed-minded. There are so many people who are just stuck in their ways and don't want to try anything new. And the reason why that's so important to me is because I feel like I'm a free spirit. Like, there's no set way of me doing anything, and there's no set or a traditional mindset I feel like that I have about anything either. So when I bring something up or offer an idea, you're like, yeah, let's try it. Like, without hesitation. And I absolutely love that. So that's definitely one of the things that I appreciate about you. This is it's a fun and it's my favorite segment, but it's hard too because it's so much. Okay, so the last thing I appreciate about you is just who you are, the essence of you, who you are as a person. You have a heart for people, not just for your family, but you have a heart for people. I have been with you on many occasions where you are encountering strangers. And you start a conversation with them, or you acknowledge them in some kind of way because you feel like you can never be too kind. You don't know how far that kind word or that smile or that gesture will, how important it is for another person. And you just really have a heart for people. You want people to feel well about themselves. You want people to know that, there's hope and there's inspiration. And it comes across in your spirit in a mighty way, So that is very attractive to me, very much so. For me, it's more about the inside versus the outer, and your inside is just as beautiful as your outer appearance. So,
wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
So
much.
those are my two things.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. So, my first is going to be, I appreciate your past and your present.
Oh.
So you have a lot of experiences, you have a lot of knowledge, spiritually, physically, and I mean, look, and I get to meet these great people,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
So they're family now, right?
Absolutely.
And I don't really deal with people,
Yeah.
so if you say they good, then they good.
Yeah.
And now I meet them, and we have had conversation.
Yeah.
But and then meeting them too on top of that, like it is beautiful and it feels great.
Yeah.
To meet y'all and look forward to spending a lot of time together with y'all.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And second, I appreciate your discipline. You're very disciplined.
Wow.
You are. You're disciplined with who you are around, the spirits that you are around. You're disciplined with finances. You're disciplined with thought.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way. And I'm very attracted to that. And I'm also very attracted to your hairstyle.
Oh, y'all see this video? Okay. Well, thank you so much. It's very important that we have this type of segment because, again, you never know what your partner's thinking about you. You never know how you're coming across to them. So, thank you so much, babe. So, of course, we are not going to be the only ones to go do this appreciation post. We need to know how Mr. and Mrs. Williams feel about each other after 23 years.
Wow.
So whoever would like to start showing appreciation to their partner, be our guest.
You can go first.
I feel like we're kindred spirits up here because the thing is, Keisha, when you was talking about Mike and Alicia's heart, the same way, Alicia has a heart to help people.
Yeah.
And she, I can recall, and you probably remember, years ago, the boys were little, we were on the way home, and there was this man walking with, he was pushing a stroller with two children with him. And it was a hot day, and Alicia was like, Joe, did you see that? I was like, yeah, I saw the guy walking with the kids. And she was like, no, you know how hot it is out there? He didn't have on any shoes. And I'm like, you didn't have on no shoes? I said, I didn't see that. So she made a U-turn. Hey, she was like, hey, give me your shoes. Give me your shoes.
Aww.
And I was like, okay. And I gave her the shoes, and she said, sir, excuse me. Here, take these shoes.
Wow.
And the man was like, oh, thank you so much. And they fit perfect.
Wow.
And that messed me up because I was like, wow, you know, that put me on another level with her. Because I had somewhat been a selfish person, and she taught me about giving, being free to give.
Yeah.
And when she was like, well, look, I tell you what, we're gonna go get you some shoes. And so I run into the store, and they looking at me crazy. You know, like, where your shoes at? Well, I was like, hey, a long story, but I just need some shoes. Let me get some shoes. And you know, I teared up in the store. I cried in the store because I was like, wow, I was able to help somebody. It's truly, really felt good to be able to give to someone, knowing that, hey, I can go buy another pair of shoes.
Right, that's right.
I don't know what his situation was.
That's right, wow.
But I was thankful for that. And I thank you for being a woman that you are, because I know that God put us together. I prayed for her. I prayed as a teenager that God will bless me with the woman designed exactly just for me.
Absolutely.
And he did, because, and we'll share later.
Yeah.
But had God not been in this, we would not be here now.
Yeah. That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yes.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Come out that. Don't cry. Don't have to come out the Mike and Key and now Jeff. So mine probably won't be that long, but it is heartfelt. Appreciation post. What I appreciate about you is your that you're patient. You're very low key, and you know sometimes I can be a little extra. That's how our friends, you know. So you know, I'm just saying. But you are very patient, and you are also very giving, and you're very compassionate, and that is shown through your spirit unto others. And anybody that knows you knows that you are just like always just want to make sure everybody else is okay, you know, and you don't ever look for anything in return, you know, always just wanting to be loved, and I just appreciate the way that you love me. Take your time with me, you know. Like I say, your patience is I don't have patience. I'm not a patient person at all. I'm getting there. Some days are better than others. But I'm just saying. But I love how patient you are, and I just love the way that you love me.
I love that. And you know, me knowing you guys for over 20 years, I can vouch for both of what you're saying from a friend perspective, because both of you have loved me through every single thing that I've gone through. You, the two of you, have been one of the constants in my life, you know. So I'm not gonna say anymore because I don't want to cry and mess up my makeup.
But
go ahead,
one thing I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, because when you and Mike started dating, you thought enough of me, and I'm like, we cool.
Yeah.
But it took it for me. It was on another level when you called and you was like, well, hey, I met somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I, at the same time, I was like, well, you know, hey, I wonder about this guy, you know.
Right.
But knowing that you and Alicia are like, y'all are so similar, and And the thing about it, Mike, they're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. So I was like, well, I trust her judgment.
Yeah.
You know, because one thing I want to see is that you are happy, and I wanted to make sure when I got off the phone with you, I was like, well, I feel that Keisha is good.
Yeah.
And that's all I ever wanted. But it meant so much to me that you
Absolutely.
thought enough of me to call and say, hey, and when you didn't have to even do that.
Absolutely. You know, I think the world of both of you. I really do. I respect you. I love you dearly. And like I said, y'all have been the same ever since day one. You've never changed. You've never wavered in how you show up in our friendship, our sisterhood. You know, Jen, you and I have our own friendship. You guys have never changed. And so I appreciate that consistency more than anything. So I absolutely wanted to say, hey, you guys, this is where I am in my life. You know, what do you think about it? You know, and just wanted you to know. And, you know, that says just in itself that you're very special to me, because I definitely didn't give everybody that courtesy. You know, I have an understanding of where everybody is in my life, what position you hold in my life. And you guys are definitely at the top for me, you know. So, and I'm just, last thing we'll say, because again, this is about appreciation, so I know we normally do it partner to partner, but we can do it from friends as well. You know, I appreciate how open and receiving y'all are of Mike. He is my world, and y'all probably can tell that.
Yes.
Because y'all are so close to me, it's very important that, you know, all of you create your own friendship, but not with force, just natural, right? And so, you know, you're mentioning that you are just meeting them because there's a perfect time for everything to happen. You know, and I just appreciate how open you all are, and it just really solidifies to me that, Jeff, what you said, the only thing y'all care about is my happiness and nothing else. As long as he's making me happy, y'all are happy. And he makes me very happy. So
I believe he's a good dude.
He
I
is.
mean, just sitting there talking to him, and we've had conversations.
yeah.
And, you know, I didn't expect, honestly, Mike, that conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago to be as long, but, you know, we share common interests. So when you got common interests, it's like, it's not hard. You can't, you know, there's no forcing in it. It just flows.
And, you know, I think the unique thing about it, too, is because you all definitely were friends with me and my late husband, very close, you know, for years and years and years. And so you could have easily both taken the stance of, well, we don't want to, you know, we're not open to, you know, meeting anybody else. But that wasn't it. And you're both looking forward to establishing your own friendship. There's no comparison. Y'all know that he's a different person. He is who he is. And, you know, y'all are wanting to get to know him for who he is. You know, and just, and it's not weird to bring up Kevin's name because we talk about him as well. Because there's no competition. Mike knows how much I love him. He knows how much I am here for him. You know, I often say that there are two parts to my life, I feel like, you know. My life with Kevin was one chapter, one half, and then my new life with Mike is another half, you know. And the thing is, I'm able to truly love him genuinely because I learned how to love Kevin. I grew up with him like you guys were talking about. We were together young, and I grew up, and I knew how to love and really be able to support another person, right? So that's why I'm able to love him the way that I do. But I just think it's beautiful. I'm so happy that y'all are here. I can't say it enough. And I'm just
Long time coming.
Yes, it has. And I'm just ready for us to be able to spend more time together. Okay, you guys. So I know we went extremely long with this appreciation post. But, you know, we wanted to take the opportunity to really show how much we care about them, just thank them for being here again. And, you know, it's better to say these things to people while they're in person. You know, don't wait too late. When you have them in front of you, say what's on your heart, you know. So.
Well, let me get mine in.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not trying to overlook you, I promise.
Okay, thank you. So I appreciate you both. She, like I said, she's spoken very highly of you both, and you know, she's spoken about how her and Kevin shared some wonderful times with y'all, and just how y'all have always been genuine and one couple that they could always trust to be with, you know. And meeting y'all, you know, I feel like my teeth are frozen because I can't stop smiling. Because y'all beautiful on the outside, beautiful on the inside, and you know your presence is amazing, you know, and I look forward to learning from y'all, and you know I definitely welcome, you know, all of your advice and your love, and I feel it, so I definitely appreciate y'all.
I didn't get mine.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm gonna make it quick.
Okay, you fine.
All right. I want to say that I appreciate you guys as a couple. I appreciate Keisha. Keisha and I met, like she said, over 20 plus years. And the first day we met, it was just like, okay, neither one of us said anything to each other.
We should have known it.
We just kind of like, okay, there's a respect, there's a level of respect already established.
Yeah.
So, but we hit it off from the start. But I always appreciated her, her smile, her wittiness, her tenacity. She's bold. She is not afraid to speak her mind. She is not afraid to take risks. That is something that I've always admired about you. And Mike, you know, like I say, just meeting you in person. But I've heard of you over the years, and I do want to put this out there, audience, that you have to understand our history with. To y'all, she's Keisha, but to me, she's Key. So I have to put this out there. When Key and I, when we met, as they stated, she was in a previous marriage, and we became friends, and we bonded with her late husband and her children, and all of our children bonded. And God saw fit, you know, he had other plans, and life was interrupted. And as you said earlier, I had to learn to get to know you on another level, go through stages with you in life. And I appreciate the fact that you shared things with me, because a lot of times when life is interrupted for whatever reason, sometimes people, the relationship that they have, the friendship, it may not last.
That's right.
You know, people can go a different direction.
That's
but
right.
I appreciate the fact that you thought enough of me as a friend, as a sister, to trust me, you know, to communicate things, to be there for you, to listen to you, to pray for you. And I appreciate that, because you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you, Mike, for accepting us. You know, a lot of times I think that people always worry about, you know, well, how am I gonna fit in? Are they gonna like me? That was one thing I was like, Jeff, is he gonna like, when we meet him, like, is he gonna like us? I mean, you know, like, is he gonna be okay with us being friends? You know, like, is he gonna be okay with, you know, because I'm like, when Keisha, y'all thought, you know, it's more like brother, sister. You know, it's all of that, you know, came into play, but I appreciate your openness, having met you. And I felt the love from you, just, even over the phone, through the phone, just in conversation, I felt it. And just from Key talking about you, I felt it. And I knew, because and she knows, I'm worried about her happiness. And I was like, over the years, I'm like, she's good, Lee's good. So I was like, you know, but I trusted her, you know. And like I said, having met you in person today, and I just love you already, and you're like a brother. I don't want to say friend, you are like a brother. You are just an addition to our family, to our friendship, and I appreciate your openness with us. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you guys, so, you know, I really enjoyed that segment of our episode. You know, it's very important, too, to not only show your partner how much you appreciate them or tell them, but your friends, too. You know, your friends are family. Like we said, they are family to me. They are not friends. So, are we ready to get into this topic?
Yes, we are ready.
We don't care nothing about these kids, okay? That's what the title gonna be. What we're talking about today, though, is, they have longevity, and you have longevity in your marriage, and me and Mike have been together for a few years. We're engaged to be married next year. May, hurry up and get here. But we all have kids, though. And how do we make sure that we are intentional about our relationship with our partner and not get so wrapped up in parenthood? So that's what the topic is about today. So who want to start first with your, because we all looking like, oh God. Who want to start with their perception or their thoughts first?
I'll say that having kids and in a relationship, long-term relationship or marriage, is not always easy. And you can very well get lost in parenting. You lose the identity of who you are as a person, as a couple, because you get so wrapped up in, especially when you have smaller children. And that almost happened to us because we have twins. So we do have an older son, but then we had a set of twins, which caused me to have to stay home. So, therefore it was a lot of time that I was home with the boys and he was working. And, it did not leave a lot of time for me, to do things. So I would say it's very easily to get lost. Because you may not feel like, oh, well, if we don't have the money for that, or I can't go get my nails done, I can't get my hair done, or I can't get, my feet done, or whatever, I don't want this outfit, or I don't do that. And sometimes you can just as some people say, let yourself go. Not to say I was looking like a hag or anything, but you just, like you wear a ponytail for 2 or 3 weeks, it's like, but then you have to snap back into it and remember, yeah, I am a mom, but I still need my husband. I still need, I have to make sure that I look, that I'm presentable, that I'm still able to please him, or that I'm attractive.
Right.
Because that's one thing. You can't just get lost in your kids. Some people, as far as sports and doing everything, the next thing you know, the kids are grown and they're out and they're gone.
That's right.
And it's like, who are we? What happened to us?
That's right. So, Alicia, can I interrupt you for 2 seconds? How old are these kids and how many do you have?
Oh, wow. The oldest is 22. 23 soon. The twins are 18, and our youngest is 14.
Okay.
Going on 80.
Okay.
Yes.
So, you're exactly right, So let me ask you a question, and either one of you can answer this. You mentioned a time where, when you were at home with the twins, and, Jeff had to go outside the home and work, and so you probably were just passing each other, right? So what did you do to become more intentional about spending time together and putting attention on each other?
I would say, first we had to... I had to acknowledge it. I don't recall him saying anything like, babe, you need to fix yourself up. I don't recall him saying anything like that.
Okay.
But I think it was more so on me, just needing to make sure that I was needed. I needed that attention.
Right.
I needed attending to, because I didn't just want to be known as mom, because that's not who I was.
Right.
And so, like I said, it's so hard because you're at home all day with kids and you need that adult interaction, all 8 hours. It's like, I need to talk to you. Hold on, I gotta have some adult conversation right now. But I think first step for me was acknowledging that we needed to spend time together, and then communicating. We had to talk about it. And the next thing for me was just making it happen.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, asking, it's easy when you have that first one, you don't really want to let them go. But by the time when you get 2, it's like, who wants to keep them? We need date night.
Yeah.
And so we started doing that. We just started making time for each other, being intentional about it. Or even if it was just at home, just the kids are down, they're asleep, just making time for each other at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
He comes home, you know, kids are in the bed, even if it's just to watch TV together, or fall asleep together, or just to talk.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just putting that time in. It was things that we learned to do. Because we at one point we didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Jeff, what was your experience during that time?
Well, honestly, getting married, 3 months later, being parents, you know, there was seasons changed quickly.
Yes.
So adjusting, I wasn't the best at adjusting to these seasons. And when the twins came, you know, and like I said, staying home, that weight I felt, because I got these people at home depending on me, one income, like, Lord help me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that was so scary, and I felt like I didn't have that anybody to talk to. So, you know, there was moments of I experienced of anger, you know, because I'm like, man, we don't have enough. But, you know, all along, we had more than what we needed.
Yeah.
But my expectation was up here when, you know, I missed out on the good times, taking those times, those precious times, with those spending time with my wife, the boys, and just embracing that moment, that season. You know, just always constantly thinking, are we gonna have enough? Are we gonna have enough?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, making it through that. And now I look back, I wish I had done things a lot differently.
Okay.
You know, but I only did what I knew.
That's right.
That's right.
So,
And that's how it works.
yeah.
We're only doing what we know to do at the time. You know, we're all trying to figure it out. You know, there's no handbook to parenting. There's no handbook to marriage. You literally just have to figure it out. You know,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, you know, your insight and your experience is so much different than ours, simply because, you know, even though, you know, the firstborn came 3 months later, but you had a period of time where it was just you all as a couple. Right. Well, when we are joining, you know, together, we bring kids on both sides into our relationship. So, you know, it's more of, okay, we came as parents already, right? Exactly. And so I think for us, you know, the one thing about Mike is he was the one who said, we need to start having intentional time together regularly. Like, we need to have date night once a week. And I was like, well, okay. You know, but you had your own reasons, you know, for feeling like that. So share with us.
Yeah, you know, I just felt like, you know, if you don't plan that time, then, I mean, if you have other things going on, businesses, friendships, then if you want to be spontaneous, you can't be. You know, if you want to just pop up and, you know, take out your wife, you know, then it could cause a conflict with plans she already had. So, you know what, let me go ahead and get that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and get that uninterrupted time. And that was the main thing, you know, but on top of that was I wanted to make sure that, you know, she knew that I want time with her to show her my love, and we can have our bond, you know, at all times. So.
And you know, both of those points, because it puts it in my mind that Friday nights are off limits to anything. You know, I've declined or I've moved things around because no, I'm not available on Friday nights. That's our date night, you know. And one of my love languages is quality time, you know. And so just being there with him wherever we go, whatever we might do, being there with him so that we can have conversations, you know, and just laugh and have a good time really does make me feel loved, you know. So it's very important because we have 5 children together. So we can easily get wrapped up in the kids. Easy. And then then there are other aspects to our relationship as well, as far as businesses and things like that, that we could also get easily wrapped up in those things.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, just like Debo, it's like, well, my day did, Red. You got Debo.
I think something happened one time when I was like, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, and he was like, what?
Right.
Are you sick? Are you unable physically to come? He was like, no.
So that's checklist.
She's like, that's not happening. We will be having date night Friday night.
You lost a limb.
Exactly. So, I'll ask you, Alicia and Jeff, how do you balance those? So, take us from the stages of when the twins were younger, like you were mentioning, right? You were staying at home. But then you had another baby after that. So then how did that change the dynamics for you?
I think, when you go ahead, I'll let you start.
With that whole thing, we were trying for a girl.
Okay.
That didn't happen, so hey, we're gonna shut the program down.
I think too that I think we had matured. It was 4 years within that time frame.
Okay.
And I have rejoined the workforce. I mean, and like I said, even though during the time when I did stay home, it wasn't all bad time, but it's what you make of it.
That's right.
It wasn't bad. So yeah, we had our little niche where we went through a little patch, but just understand it wasn't all bad.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I think when Kyle was born, I think we had matured. We were both in our 30s, and we grew a little bit in our marriage. We grew and learned. We're learning each other even more.
Yeah.
Because I think even the more you're with a person, you will always learn something
Absolutely.
about that person. I will never say, "Oh, I know him." To a certain degree.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
something that he will do that will amaze me. There's something that he will say that will amaze me, or things that I will never imagine that I would have known. So, but I can say that we both matured, and within that we learned that we do have to be intentional. We do have to spend time together, quality time. And even now as the kids are older, it's kind of like we feeling that empty nest syndrome coming on, and it feels really good. And it's just like you have more freedom, and we're at a point I think in our marriage and our relationship where when the kids do leave, they get to that point. We are still here as a couple. We are still friends. We are still best of friends. We are still very close to each other. So it's not like, oh gosh, what we gonna do?
Right.
Who are you? But I think it's just as we grow and get older and mature more, we just get closer each and every day. And that's the thing. You just have to learn to continue to love one another.
Absolutely.
Through the whole process.
Yeah.
But I think one of the key that you said was that you all started as friends first, though, right? So you developed that friendship, like you said, there was no judgment. You were living your life, Jeff, you were living your life, but you guys would talk as friends, and so you can always resort back to your friendship, So I think that's great.
Yeah. That's a great point, though. That's powerful about not getting too comfortable. Like people get into relationships and get too comfortable.
Yes.
And think like, oh yeah, I got them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got them. I don't have to do what I used to do. I don't, Yeah.
Guess what? That's not how we operate.
That's a dangerous thing. That could be a dangerous thing.
Why is that it can be dangerous?
Because people, if you don't really know that person and they're already feeling this way in the relationship, to me, it's like clingy. There's a void. There's something missing. There's something wrong. Or there's a need for something, a lack of, for this person to feel so needy or clingy. That they have to. It's like they're taking possession of that person. And that could be a dangerous thing because you can lose yourself in a situation like that if a person is not careful, if they're not strong enough, and if they're not strong enough to recognize it, you know, in a relationship, you begin to take on traits, you know, of that person or whatever. It's just something that you always want to remain true to yourself.
Yeah.
You always want to remain true to yourself in a relationship. Don't change for a person. Because if you have to change for somebody, you might want to rethink that thing. Like, you know, why do you want to change me? Or why, you know, who am I? You know, what am I doing?
Right.
You know, always be true to yourself in a relationship. And I think that's something that Jim and I have always done. You know, I've never tried to change him to who he is. And he knows that he can't change me. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, like, he accepts me for who I am, and vice versa for me. But I think that's very important, that people need to learn to accept each other in a relationship, not try to change them or not try to take ownership, you know, of a person. Don't be dictated in a relationship.
So let's go a little bit deeper with that though, because when you say try to change them, there can be different aspects to that, right? Things like core values, like what do you believe in, your mindset, but there also could be things like how you dress or how you wear your hair, you know, because in my opinion, nobody can change the core values of who I am. I believe in God. That's always going to be constant. I have a love for people. You know, I'm very protective of my family. These core things, I feel like I have integrity, morals. So these core things are not going to change. But if I know my man like to see me in a certain type of outfit or a certain type of skirt, pants, whatever, then I personally have no problem with showing up in those type of clothing. You know what I mean? So elaborate on that point.
But it's to, I think it's to a certain degree, I would say. That's just like to say, if Jeff or either Mike with you prefers short hair or long hair, you know, and you may be a stickler and like, I don't really like short hair. Well, I like short hair. I want you to wear your hair short. And then if a person does something that they don't really want to.
That's the point. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Because you're changing, you're losing your identity. You're doing something that somebody else wants you to do.
Yes.
You're letting them take ownership of your life. You're letting them take control.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, you know, when I say a person will take on somebody else's traits too. Because it's like, okay, well, Mike may say, well, he might like to see you in a short skirt. But you know in your mind already the type of person and woman you are, how short of that skirt, right, that what that length's going to be, you know. And knowing Mike, you know, he's not going to want to have you in something, you know, where you out there looking like, you know, you ready to be on the corner. You know? I mean, just saying.
Are you?
No. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, but it's like you have to know that person.
Yeah.
And you have to know the limitations that you're willing to take to be in that relationship for that person.
And that, like I said, that's a great point. It's about now feeling pressure to do something you don't want to do. So we're going to let the guys give their perspective on that point. What do you all think about what Alicia's saying?
Well, I believe that going into a relationship, you have to stay firm of who you are. You have some boundaries that you have to set as far as how far you're going to go. And you know how you were raised and whatnot, your upbringing. So with that, when you're dating somebody or in a relationship, you're gonna take on some of that person's traits.
Yes.
But you have to, and they'll take on yours as well. But you have to stay in balance. I say, you know, because you don't want to go out so far that the people that really know you say, hey, Mike, man, what's going on with you, man? You don't act like that. Yeah. You know, you don't want that type of thing. You know, so I guess just being true to yourself and don't always conform.
Yes.
You know, but there is some give and take. with that,
Yeah.
you know, when dating. So.
That's real. I agree, you know, with what both said, you know. You don't want to change yourself to a detriment of not being yourself. Let's just say, for instance, if I don't know, let's just say you wearing let me see, thing. Maybe like you be saying, short skirts, but you know it's a certain length. Like, what if you wear that shorter length anyway, and you just don't, you know, you continue to do it, but you want me to do something that you don't like.
Right.
I just believe that, you know, it should be reciprocated.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I think that it where you are in your relationship plays a major factor to that too. So are we just dating? Are we engaged? Or are we married and have, you know, blended our lives together? You know, me particularly, when I think about us being engaged, we already have combined so many parts of our life together, and we are on the road to marriage. That is our intention, right? And so with you two, you're already married for years, and so I feel like in those type of scenarios, you do have to have more of a listening ear and being more open to what the person is saying, right? Because if you have married him and have been with him for 23 years, and I said yes to a proposal, that means that there's something about the both of you that we trust, right? There's something about the both of you that we know in our mind and our hearts that you have our best interests at heart. So if you're telling me I don't like when you wear these short skirts like this, it is for a reason. I know you, so I know it's not for you to be controlling because you don't have that nature, right? So you also have to know your partner and know the intention behind what they're saying. Now, if me and you just dating, and dating in my mind means you're dating, right? You dating multiple people to try to figure out what you like or whatever, or not necessarily at the same time, but there's no high level of commitment. And you say, I don't like where you wear short skirts. Well, that's not really my issue.
Exactly.
You know, because I don't know if you're going to be my person.
Exactly.
You know, so, but you're my fiance. And so, yes, I'm going to listen to that. You know, Jeff is your husband. You're going to listen to that. You know, so I think all of that plays a factor too.
And it does, just like you said, I think I may have mentioned it earlier, I can't remember, but knowing the person that you're with, you have to know. You have to know that person you're in a relationship with. And like you said, I'm glad you said, because you have to know the difference between just dating somebody and being in a long-term relationship with engagement, you know, a marriage. Because dating, that's a game changer. You know, you can't tell me how to wear my hair, what I should wear.
That's right.
I can't be with these friends, because there again, that's that person trying to take ownership of either, you know, manipulation, control,
Being possessive,
everything. It's like, you know, and before you know it, you change, you lose who you are.
and you know, again, not to keep harping on it, but it is about knowing your partner. Because we sit here today and we for sure know that there are some controlling husbands, that there are some controlling wives. So marriage in itself isn't the deciding factor. It's the fact of you knowing the person that you're with.